go back on here. Just, you know what? I always like doing all these deep dives and kind of documentary style videos about different bands and stuff. And there's all kinds of places: Brazil, Europe, you know, Asia, all these great places of great bands. But you know what? I don't got to go that far. All I got to do is go right here in Houston, Texas, man. Imprecation, motherfucker! Early death metal, 1990s, early classic band. Started in 91, if I'm not mistaken, and then they're still active to this day. Oh, fucking motherfucker. My Twilight Zone cup. This is a band that's been around a long time, and they've definitely stayed stuck to their guns, playing great occult kind of metal. Never switching up and doing some weird shit. Always stuck with it. And for me, it's pretty personal too. I went to all those early shows, you know, when Imprecation played those early shows. And you know, this compilation LP, it was originally on Revolts Records or something. I've got the original CD, but I had to buy this reissue that Nuclear War Now came out with, which I've covered this on the channel. I just got it mainly because of this book. And I look at this book and all these old flyers, all these shows they played. I was at just about all of these. So I remember the days of seeing, you know, Imprecation with the Axiom and seeing them play with Immolation. I remember that one great show. It was at the Axiom. It was the night of the Shun bands. It was Immolation, Indignation, another great Texas death metal band, but no longer around. Imprecation and Hex and Goraphobia. It was a fucking great lineup, man. Great show. It's funny about that though. I went to, it was a lot of people at that show, but when Hex was playing, I don't know, I guess I had this in my mind back then, in some premonition that thought they were some big band. They were on Century Media at the time. I thought they were a big band. I went in there, nobody was watching them play, maybe with 5 people. Everybody else was outside, which I thought was odd. But then, of course, the other death metal bands played. Everybody was inside. Maybe they were a little thrash band, didn't fit with the lineup. But really good night, good show. And I just want to kind of do a little overview of Imprecation. So let's go back. I want to go back in time in Houston, 1987, 88. There was a band here called Dark Reign. Very creator-esque, kind of thrash, borderline death metal. And from that band, numerous other bands have spawned from it. I consider and do a whole family tree of all these bands that spawned from Dark Reign, members from Crawler, Imprecation, all these different bands from back then. But 2 members from Dark Reign, Phil Westmoreland and Ruben Elizondo were in that band, and then they broke off and they started Imprecation in 1991. And back then, I do remember back then, it was Imprecation, Chthonic, Elias, Crawler, a lot of these fucking death metal and grindcore and thrashy bands back then. There's more I can't think of off the top of my head, but it was a good lineup, man. A lot of good local bands. But back then, every big show comes through, you know, Unleashed, Cannibal Corpse, you know, whatever. Imprecation played all those shows, and they were on the scene for sure. The first demo they came out with was a cassette, was in '92, Ceremony of the 9 Angles. You know what's funny too? When I first saw that, My dumbass said, "Oh, those fucking idiots don't even know how to spell. They put 9 angles instead of 9 angels." I thought it meant to be 9 angels, but no, I was the fucking dumbass. It is meant to be angles. There's a story behind that. So, the backstory, I was laughing. In reality, I was the fucking idiot. But that original demo cassette's really fucking good. Just solid, dark-sounding death metal. That's what I like. Back then when death metal was, kind of getting popular, there was all kinds of different directions, more gore, more evil sound stuff, more murder, just stuff like that. But Imprecation always had a very occult push towards their music, and even to this day, they still have that same push. But yeah, I think that demo was widely spread. They sold it at every show, and after that, they did the Sigil of the Baphomet, which is also a great fucking EP. And that EP, it came out on from Spain, Drowned Records, great 7-inch. Which, you know what, I used to see that fucking record all the time at Sound Exchange around here, and it shows, and I never bought it. I still kick myself in the ass for not getting it. Why the fuck? You see it all the time. I'll get it next time. Never did. And also, they members came and gone in the band. Wes Weaver, who was in the band, he was not the original guitarist, but he came on. And he was a crucial figure here in Houston, too. He used to be behind the Sweet Nightmares radio station, which, that helped. I know it helped me learn about all these bands. Early on, I knew about the typical stuff, you hear about on Earache and Road Racer Records, Roadrunner, all that shit. But then I started listening to that, started learning even more shit, the underground shit, and then getting in, meeting more people. But it was good time. I'm sure many people from around this area can remember putting your tape deck in, pushing record, listening to Wes Weaver and Bill Bates, and then playing that shit and demos, and hearing the early Malevolent Creation demos, and my mind's went blank, but so much shit, the Fear of God demos, shit like that, multiple stab wounds. But then in 95, they came out with that Durgia Goshia Sama compilation, which I bought that CD back then, which was really cool. It had all the demo and EP up to that point, some live stuff, real cool stuff. And it's really interesting, though, because for me, when that came out, and it came out when I was actually in the military. I was in the Marines. I had left Houston for a while. I was gone for some years, 3-4 years. And it's interesting, when I came back, of course, got out of the Marines and started going back to shows. And, of course, Imprecation was still playing, but I was like, wait, this looks like a different band. The other singer, David Herrera, was not singing, and the guy that was playing bass, Mark Beecher, was moved over. He was doing vocals. He had corpse paint on, all this armor and shit, and they had candles and keyboards, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is this the same fucking band? It was, in reality, the music really wasn't all that different, but it's still just the aesthetics, and there was some more high screeching vocals, not just straight death metal, which I really like it, man. And they released a 2-song promo at 2 songs with Beecher on vocals, and it was a lot more black metalish, and I really like it a lot. I think it's a good fucking release. And I know during this time, I'm trying to get the exact history right. As far as this LP that Nuclear War Now released. If you don't have this, I don't know if this is sold out. If it's still available or not. But this book in here has a pretty comprehensive history about the band, written by Dave Herrera, the vocalist, which is pretty interesting. It talks about some backstories about how he first became the singer of the band and just stuff like that. And he left the band to go form a Bohemeron. And if you know Bohemeron, that's also another local Texas black metal band that I think needs to get more notoriety. Bohemeron is releasing really fucking good albums. And actually, I could do a whole video on that band as well. As far as classic black metal, which I probably will, because I really like that a lot. But anyway, Herrera left, and then Beecher was on vocals. They did the two-song promo, more black metal-ish. And then I guess they called it a day. 98, they just disbanded. Then 2002 original members, Ruben Elizondo and Phil Westmoreland, Wes Weaver, Dave Herrera, got back together, started playing live again, playing some fests, and of course started doing some releases. And then the official reformation was 2009. It had most of the classic lineup. Yeah, and then unfortunately later on in 2021 was a bad year for Imprecation, and founding drummer Ruben Elizondo died from some of that COVID shit. It's really fucking sucks, man. It's horrible. And then the same year, Wes Weaver, who was the guitarist, also died in 2021. I'm not sure the exact particulars about what happened with him, but very unfortunate. But the band moved on. The band continued. And since then, they've been releasing some really good shit. More demos, EPs. They did a Sigil of Lucifer EP 2010. Fucking great. Then in 2013, they released a really cool full-length Satanae Tenebris Finita. Good full album, and they did a split with Blasphemous, which that's another band I could talk about, which actually Wes Weaver was in that band too, Blasphemous, another good fucking Houston death metal band. Then 2019, Damasio Ad Bestias full length. Real good stuff, and they continue to keep putting out stuff. But even the most recent stuff, Vomitum Tempestus, that's a good fucking album. It's like about 28 minutes long, just shy of 30 minutes. I think it's a perfect running time. Sometimes you get up in the 40-minute time limit that gets kind of boring, but it's right to the point. Great occult sounding death metal and this black and white cover. I fucking love the artwork on the cover. And they're still playing shows now. It makes me happy to see they're playing Stillfest and playing all these shows around. So good for these motherfuckers. You know, I know it's not the whole original lineup anymore, but still, I feel this incarnation of the band is still keeping the original flame going. So I don't feel like when I hear this most recent release compared to the Ceremony of the Nine Angles, I feel like it still sounds like the same band, like not like some totally different kind of shit. So they're doing it good. And keep it going. If you motherfuckers don't know who Imprecation is, you listen to death metal and black metal, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You need to look this shit up. And yeah, man, more coming up after that. So